But before we go, Stel from Tottenham Away, make sure you guys go and subscribe to Tottenham Away if you're not already. Stelios is here. How are you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Yeah, good, guys. How you doing, Amir? How you doing, Barnaby? Hope you're both well.
Yeah, doing all right, mate.
Yes,
doing
mate.
all right.
Yes, mate. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm I'm delighted. I won £75.
Oh yeah, what was the bet?
So, on my channel on a Thursday or Friday, we do like predictions, and I predicted 3-0 Arsenal to beat Brighton, and 3-1 Spurs to beat Forest. So it's the first time I've got both right. So there you go.
Nice.
Bit of money.
Wow,
Nice.
there you go.
Happy
there
days.
you go.
Happy
Okay,
days.
and
Pints on Stel.
Pints on sale, yeah. So tactically and in terms of how you felt about the game today, mate. What why did we win that game? What did we need to do a bit better? Do you think?
Yeah, look, we beat them 2-0 away from home with 10 men. So we were never going to lose to Nottingham Forest. I know some fans get a bit worried because it's the kind of game with well, yeah, okay. Well, it's not just you, Barnaby. There's a lot of fans that get worried when we play these lower teams. But for me, I'm not worried against any low team. Burnley, Sheffields, Forests, Palace. We will beat all of these teams because we're just a better team. We've got better players and we play attacking football. The only time we struggle is if they low block us and they're very good at low blocking and they've got a couple of players that can punish us up top. A classic example is Wolverhampton Wanderers. When they set up right, they're disciplined and they've got quality up front that can punish us. But that's not Nottingham Forest. They don't really have those players. But I think it kind of went how I thought it would go. One half, not great. Another half, complete dominance. Maybe should have got a few more goals. But
yeah,
I feel that Spurs are definitely going to get top four. I've said that all season long. From the end of October, not all season long, that's a lie. From the end of October, I've been consistent. Even when I've come on and I've said, if we sign Timo Werner, I'm done, Ange out. And I stick to that. I haven't changed my stance. But I totally believe we will get top four this year because after that 10-game start, we had such a great start to the season. Man United and Chelsea are not the teams that they've been in the past. So where are Spurs going to finish worst case, knowing that those two are out of the race? At worst, 6th place. But then when you see when you see Newcastle and Brighton not being able to handle the Premier League and European football at the same time, it opened the door for us. So for me, because Villa have got Europe and they've got a tough run in the same as us, we will get top four this year, and Spurs will be in the Champions League next season. And for Ange Postecoglou, that's a solid start to a first season. If you're not going to win a domestic trophy, but you get Champions League, which is the second best thing, I guess, that's a solid start with no Harry Kane. So, yeah, look, these performances are truly deserved. I've got no negatives to say about these kinds of results. I've got some concerns going forward though, because I don't want us to be a top four team, and even Ange is saying it. Okay, Ange Postecoglou is saying the same thing. So the things that I've been saying for 10 years, the manager's now saying it. And all the fans that had a go at me saying, oh, you expect this, you expect that, you don't understand this. Well, the manager is now saying it. I think we need some ruthless changes if we're going to be a team that challenges for the Premier League or can win a European trophy or win an FA Cup.
But when you say ruthless changes, still, what does that mean in terms of ruthless changes? In terms of who we're bringing in, or what do you mean by ruthless changes?
Okay. The entire attack for me is not good enough. I don't buy into it. I'm not one of these that just says, do you know what? Yeah, I can see potential. Or do you know what? Give it time. I'm not one of those.
Okay.
When I look at this system, if you look at the teams that have ever played with the front three in the Premier League, who have been really good, I would say the best team I've seen play with the front three is Liverpool under Klopp 2-3 years ago. That they were frightening. And you know what? That's probably the closest to what Spurs are trying to do, because they were the most aggressive pressing team I've seen in the Premier League. And Spurs, we have the highest turnovers from pressing the ball. We are the best in the league at that. So if we're going to keep that up and then push it to the next level, really, you've got to look at a benchmark that you can try and replicate. Liverpool had Mane, Firmino, and Salah. You're not going to convince me. Maybe you can convince others, but you're not going to convince me. We have got players of that caliber at this club right now. Maybe one or two might get there, but I don't think we've got players of that caliber. The season Liverpool won the league, Mane scored 20 goals, Salah scored 20 goals, Firmino scored 10. They each got between 10 to 8 assists as well. So between them, you're looking at 80 goal contributions just from the front three. That's the kind of level we need to try and aspire to. And I don't see us doing it with these players. So when you talk about Timo Werner, good squad player, I don't see that. I see someone that once in a while can put in a really good cross on the ground, but that's it. For the other 88 minutes, he runs around, he won't beat a man, he'll chase a ball, track back, smash one over the bar, miss the target. But because he's better than Brian Hill, we're getting a bit excited. Timo Werner's not the answer, guys. He's not. And today you see Brendan Johnson, who I'm not going to criticise. I'm not going to go in on him. But you see Brendan Johnson today. He didn't really do much against the team that's 17th. And I think we need players that are more dynamic, more creative, more explosive. Maybe I'm asking for too much as a Spurs fan, but Kane and Son in their prime with one more, that's what I'm talking about. If we want to beat City, Arsenal,
no, I
Liverpool,
hear you still. I completely hear you, and I'm the one here calling for the big signings as well. Up top and on the wings, and the likes of Creature coming in. It's players like that I want. I can't not agree with you there. But I don't know if I can actually see it happening, right? We heard Anne saying that he doesn't want to spend 70, 80 million on a player. But sometimes maybe that is just what's needed, right? Rice, 100 million, Van Dijk, Van Persie. You see teams that have gone on to win things spend huge bucks on certain positions that they needed. Why can we not do that?
Well, we can. But that Ange is basically speaking on behalf of Levy. That's a Daniel Levy comment. Ange accepted the terms of what it is to be a manager at Spurs. And there was no way we were going to recruit a manager who didn't do it, let's call it the Spurs way. Barnaby said that when you look at the financials, it kind of explains why we can't spend £100 million on a player. I disagree, because we spent this season just as much as Arsenal. And after the January window, we spent more. We spent £220 million. The money is there, guys. We are spending big money.
We did sell Harry Kane for 90 million minimum, though, didn't we? So that's some of it.
Yeah, and that's a good argument, Barnaby. But the season before, we spent 200 million on Conte, and the season before that, we spent 160.
There is money there.
Mourinho.
There's money there.
The money's there.
There's money there.
Without a doubt. Otherwise, what was the point of building this stadium, right? The money's there. The issue we have is, do we want to spend the budget on 7 or 8 players, or do we want to spend the budget on 3 or 4 really good, proven players? I have no control over it. I know what I want to see, but I feel that if we go down this 7 or 8 player route, you're going to get 2 really, really good players, like a Van de Ven and a Vicario. You're going to get another 2 players that we say are good, but they're inconsistent. What's kind of happening with them. Then you're going to get another 2 that turn out to be crap. And then another 2 that we're going to call potential, one for the future. So really, you only end up with 3 players that actually impact the team significantly. And the other 5, we're arguing over them. We're arguing, why did we sign Blizz? Is Timo good enough? Should he be at the club? And we're arguing over Richarlison. Is he good enough? Is he the answer? We shouldn't really be having arguments over players. We never argue about Van de Ven. We never argue about Vicario. Okay, if one doesn't work out, that's normal. Every club makes a mistake. Every club signs a player, you think, what have we done? But I just feel that we need to change this pattern of transfers where we actually say, right, there's your 180 million. Go and get 3 or 4 players that take us to a different level. Go and sign 4 players of the quality of Van de Ven for the number 6 role, for the striker role, for the attacking mid role as cover. And then I think that then begins to make us a serious team that can challenge for trophies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. I think the good news for you and that argument is that I think over the past 18 months or so, that does seem to be what they're doing. I mean, when you say, you did kind of say, nobody argued over Van der Ven or is arguing over Van der Ven or Vicario, but actually at the time, I think people did. So I guess to some degree, we've got to say, okay, the recruitment seems to be going in the right direction, and hopefully trust in that. One thing I'd say just about, just to back up my Timo Werner point, and it's subjective, so it's absolutely fine that we don't agree on this, but I would say that I'm not looking at Timo Werner as being a Sadio Mane. I'm looking at Timo Werner as being a Divock Origi, someone who can come off the bench and affect games sometimes, as Origi did for Liverpool sometimes. But in general, I think everybody agrees that Divock Origi was not of the level to be a starter for Liverpool, and I don't think Timo would be. But do I think it's possible we could get £10 million for Brian Hill and pay 15 for Timo Werner and be in better shape and squad depth next season than we are at the moment?
Possibly.
Yeah, so that's where I'm coming from, really. But in terms of your... just one second, still, just last thing. In terms of what you said about Mane and Firmino and Salah being stronger than where we are now, I completely agree.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the Timo thing is going to divide us. It's going to divide fans. I've made my opinion clear. If we sign him, I don't believe in this project. And people might think I'm super harsh. Shut up, STEL. Doesn't bother me. It's my view. But if Timo Werner is going to be our Origi, I'd rather not spend £15 million on him, put that money towards a position that we can maybe spend a bit more on now, that is going to be a better quality player, and bring through that Swedish kid, Bergvall, bring through Dane Scarlett. Daniel Levy said that we need to go back to our ways. We need to go back to the Tottenham way, and we need to start making the academy flourish. Well, bring them in. Don't spend the money on Timo. You've signed some young players. Back up your recruitment team. Trust the scouts that have brought these players in, and start them and make them your Origis.
Have you seen these kids though, still? Like, have you seen them play?
No, but I've seen Timo Werner play, Amir, and I struggle.
No,
bro.
I understand that. I understand that. No, I understand. I get where you're coming from. It's just the thing is, when it comes down to the kids and the academy and stuff, I don't know how many of them are actually ready to make that full step up. You know what I mean? I did go and see them. Yeah, you only need one or two. You only need one or two. That's right. And I do think there is space there for a couple of them to make that step up. I do think, though, however, pinning our hopes on the academy, I don't know if that's going to, help us advance us to the next stage.
Well, we it's not just the academy. We've signed young players. Like, we've spent money on Veliz. We spent money on this Swedish kid. We've spent money
Bergvall,
on players that aren't academy.
Yeah.
We've bought players from other academies because we think that they're that good. So,
oh yeah, you've got to give them a chance. You've got to play them. Bergvall has to play.
I'd rather they be the backup.
Oh, I'd happily. I just think that on the Werner thing, just my 2 cents on it. I think he's playing his way into the team. If you're asking me, still, if you keep coming on and you keep affecting games and you keep getting assists and you keep creating goals, and no one else is in that position stamping it down. Unfortunately, Solomon's out. Richie's now taken a knock. He's the only one really there, unless you stick Kula on the left, which is not his natural position. I think he's kind of playing his way into being bought, to be honest with you.
If he performs against Arsenal's, Liverpool's, Man City's, Chelsea's, Newcastle away, these big games coming up, I will come back on here and make a public apology to everyone.
There you go. That's what I was looking for, Barnaby. That's what I was sniffing for the whole time.
But if he doesn't, Amir, I want you to say, Stel, do you know what?
No problem. No problem. Right. Look,
Deal.
I tell you what, Stel.
Listen, I'm open-minded, right? Deal.
I get you. No, 100%. Let's see. It'll be very interesting to revisit that conversation come May.
Stel, mate, thank you so much for calling in. Honestly, go for it.
I know you want to go. I know you guys are busy. You've had a long day. I just want to say one last thing.
Yes, mate.
We need to sign a proper number 6, right? Basuma is not a 6 for me. No, he's not a 6. He's not an 8. He's kind of in between both. Yeah. And Pape Sarr, we cannot put that on his shoulders. Nah. Today, I saw the same thing I've seen too many times before. The attacking forwards, the wide players, they do not give enough protection to the wing backs. And the wing backs, when they are pulled out wide, there's no defensive cover from the holding mid. So what happens is the centre back pulls out,
So
and then
much
you get this
space.
big gap between the centre
Yeah,
back.
there's so much space.
And even then, Basuma doesn't tuck into that gap.
Yeah, agreed.
We need to go and buy a proper number 6. And Højbjerg, guys, he's not the answer. And I'll tell you why. Coming off the bench, impact, maybe. But to start a game, you saw in the last 5 minutes that ridiculous ball across the box, which nearly cost us.
Yeah.
Right. Højbjerg has always got that in him. And that is why he can't start and be the number 6 for us going forward. So,
yes,
number
we,
6.
We've talked about Palhinha. Have you got any other names in mind who you'd like to go? So also, Anana was mentioned. He seems to be being mentioned with Spurs a bit in the last few weeks, actually. What about you?
The player I would love at Spurs, and he is so like Moussa Dembele. Power, ball retention, skill is Mane Kone from Mönchengladbach. Absolute top draw player. A lot of clubs are going to be after him though, but he's going to be in that 50-60 million pound bracket. If you want a top 6, anyone watching this show, if you don't know who he is, type in Borussia Mönchengladbach, Mane Kone. What a player. He is so like Dembele. But I'll take Palhinha. He's Premier League proven.
He's in London already.
I don't know much about Kone, so I'm going to check him out. Stel, thanks for that intel, mate. And thank you for calling in, guys. Like I said at the beginning, go and follow Tottenham Away. They're doing some great content every single day. Stel, have a great rest of your weekend, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Stel. Have a good week.
Take care, chaps.
See ya.
Bye-bye.